사랑하지 말아요. 아직은 잘 모르잖아요. 사실 조금은 두려운 거야. 그대 미안해요. 우리 약속하지 말아요. 내일은 또 모르잖아요. 하지만 이 말만은 진심이야. 그대 좋아해요.
Hello, what is up guys, and welcome to my YouTube video, Lost in Japan. I'm hoping this will be the first of just many videos to come, and I'm just going to talk about my life here in Japan and what it takes to come to Japan, and yeah, just a life outside of being just a teacher in Japan. Because if you come here as a teacher, you're going to love it. You're going to love the kids, you're going to love the schools, you're going to love all the people you work with. Now I can't speak for everyone's experience, but in my own experience, that's the people is what brought me to Japan, and it's what keeps me here. Alright, well let's get right into it. So I guess a big question would be, why Japan? And I'll have to say that it definitely began a long time ago. Maybe when I was a junior high school student, actually. I took my first Japanese class, and that was the time we had electives, so you get to choose, like, I think it was 4 classes out of the year. You get to choose 4 different things to do. So I had like a 9-week course or whatever the quarter was of Japanese class, and it was very basic. I think we learned hiragana, and I don't even think we touched katakana, but we wrote our names in hiragana, and I thought it was a good experience. Then in the last class, I remember we were making yakitori chicken, which is basically a skewered chicken that you baste in sauce, and it's super common in Japan. But when you're a 12-year-old boy, you're just thinking in your head, wow, what the heck's a yakitori? So I ate that, and I was thinking, wow, you know what, this Japan place, it sounds like a pretty good deal. So that was just the beginning. And I think also around that same time was when I watched my first anime. Now I know you're probably thinking, oh, this guy watches anime, he must be just like this anime freak, but no, and there's nothing wrong with anime. Trust me, it definitely started my motivation. But I watched Slayers. I remember the anime, and I thought, oh, you get magic. You got girls using magic. Like, this is so uncommon. You won't see this in America. And there were all those days where I would just wake up early in the morning. Which, the more that you get to know me, you're gonna know that I absolutely just hate waking up in the morning. It's like the one thing I can't do. But I would wake up at, gosh, it was probably like 5:30 in the morning just to watch my daily dose of Dragon Ball Z, and of course Sailor Moon, which all us 90s kids grew up watching. And from then on, I got hooked. And after that, there was no more exposure to anything related to Japan. I think when I was like high school student, my life was just all about like skateboarding, stuff like that. But then I would often go to Blockbuster, which is a place where you can rent videos. I, and I'll tell you this, in Japanland, people still rent videos. It's totally common. But in America, that's almost like totally, it's just gone. Like, no one rents a video, and maybe young kids don't even know what a Blockbuster is anymore, because we have like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, and now everything's all about streaming. But back then we had to rent videos, so I would go to Blockbuster, and I would often go to the foreign film section, and I would rent Japanese horror movies, along with Korean horror movies, and I was just stuck on it. I thought they were just so interesting, and it's so different from what I'm used to, and I got really accustomed to reading subtitles and watching subbed content, and I think 9 out of 10 times I preferred subbed over dubbed. Dubbed meaning that someone speaks in English over. If you think of like those old school Godzilla movies where they try to put English into it and they were just like horrible, and it was kind of like that deal. So in case you're wondering, by the way, if are you Japanese, or are you a Japanese guy? No, I'm not. I'm not a Japanese guy. In Japan, many people for some reason think I'm Japanese, and I think it's just because they're so used to seeing Japanese people that when they see someone that looks Asian, it's often the first thing that goes on is, oh, are you Japanese? But yeah, I'm not a Japanese guy. I'm a half Korean. My mom is Korean, and my dad is an American, mixed background. But I usually just call it German just to make it easier. So I usually call myself half German, half Korean. And I don't speak either of the languages. I want to learn Korean. I love K-pop and I love Korean dramas, but gosh, if there's only 6 more hours in every day, I would get a lot more done. That's for sure. But yeah, good. So first things first, I guess what I'll do is next time I'll talk about kind of what got me here in Japan. But first, I'll give you a quick tour of my apartment. So I'm an assistant language teacher, an ALT in Japan, and I was blessed with just this amazing apartment. Some people might think it's small, but by Japanese standards, it's a pretty humble abode, and I like it. So yeah, here let me give you a little quick tour of it. Okay, so here's my recording studio in all its glory. It's pretty simple right now, chilling on the floor, and of course I got my bed over here, so I sleep every night. Little surfboard hanging up in the ceiling. And over here is my desk, my work desk, but I just never use it. I actually prefer using this guy right here. And speaking of my desk, it does have a lot of little knickknacks around, a lot of posters I've collected, chalkboard drawings I've done. It makes me feel at home, and I also put all my memories around it. I like to surround myself with my memories. Got my Big Bang concert, really happy I got to see them, first time ever. Next to that, I have all my jackets hanging. Space is pretty hard to find here in Japan land. And last but not least is my memory board full of cards from back home, pictures with friends, and drawings from my students. It's my happiest place. So I know it was quick and I couldn't talk about a ton because time just kept running on. I'm the kind of guy that does like to talk a lot. But I hope you enjoyed watching and stay tuned for more content. And if you could subscribe or please leave a like, just let me know that I'm doing something good. I know it's early to ask that. It's very first episode with no following, but I just want to get started off on the right foot. So, yeah, let me know. And if you have any comments, leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. See you next time.
그대 좋아해